Welcome to Tradespoon. My name is Lakarpel. I'm CEO and founder of Tradespoon, and today we're going to have our weekly strategy roundtable discussion where we talk about current market conditions and answer any questions you might have. Before we begin, let me know if you guys can hear me and see my screen. We'll begin shortly after. Clean up some of these screens. We don't need this. We don't need this. We need this. All right, can you guys hear me? Bill? Type in yes if you can hear me and see my screen. All right, let's start. Bill, thank you. Welcome to Tradespoon. My name is Lakarpel. I'm CEO and founder of Tradespoon, and today we're going to have our weekly strategy roundtable where we talk about current market conditions and answer any questions you might have about your subscription, also about technologies, companies, AI, Middle East, interest rates, geopolitical risks. So all of this is important. This is my brief bio. Background is in technology, AI. I have a master's degree in computer science, worked with several hedge funds and broker-dealers, and build technology to help me manage my own money and expose signals and live trading room to the subscribers. Disclosures are very important. Please read them. If this is the first time you see these disclosures, I encourage you to visit optionsscreening.com so you can understand and see the risk associated with trading stock and options. All right, let's jump into the current market conditions. If you look at this week, let's just summarize this week. 10-year yield kind of not going anywhere. Situation with Middle East and oil prices haven't really changed when it comes to 10-year yield. Dollar on the lower side, so still weak, but no new signal. So no new signal in yield, no new signal in dollar. Crude oil, basically ending the same level as last week. Brent, a little bit better, right? A little bit lower. You can also see that technology, when it comes to technology signal, there's a very strong move to the upside in technology. Same could be said about semiconductors. Equal weighted S&P, no new signals. It is trading at all-time high, but it's not breaking out. So no new signal. Small caps are breaking out. So there's new signal in small caps, and there's a new signal in emerging market. So those are the two areas that are growing faster, with the idea that interest rates will be lower. Dollar is going to be lower, and there will be a progress in Middle East, and oil prices will pull back. So that continues. If you look at the stock forecast toolbox for our model, and you look for spiders, right? This is our main model. Still shows an uptrend. The momentum is accelerating. The short-term momentum is accelerating for 10 days, and potentially can get by the end of June, by end of May, June, maybe 770. We're currently at 736, but strong momentum to the upside short term. If you look at the medium term, right? If you look at the long term, for this month's model predicted for the months of May, 730. We're already at 736. What does it mean? it means that the momentum behind the bulls is accelerating, and we're overbought. We are definitely overbought short term and potentially could pull back, but market could stay, over bought for a longer period of time, right? Because you see that medium and long-term momentum is still pointing to the upside, right? It's accelerating. So, I mean, the model sees 780 in the next, by August, we could be at 780. And now that we are breaking above prediction for the May, I would say, there's a high chance that we could get to 780, by the end of the next earnings cycle that starts in July. So that's Stock Forecast Toolbox, right? You can type in spiders, QQQ, any stocks. It will give you these trend analysis and prediction for the range for the next 10 days, for the next 6 months, which is very important for the trader, right? You need to know what the trend is and what is the expected range. There are a lot of software that out there will tell you what the direction is, but at what range is going to trade, that's more difficult. So this is a great tool. We also have Active Trader, right? So Active Trader, every day the model basically gives you prediction. Yesterday it was Starbucks and Texas Instrument STX, right? So those are the signals from yesterday. And then if you look for signals today, CVS, Dell, Google, some of these signals I trade, right? Like CVS is going higher today, Dell is moving higher, Google is moving higher. So model identifies stocks that are in uptrend and can outperform the market. I don't trade all of these signals, but I do trade some of these signals, right, in Elite Circle. So if you go to Elite Circle, actually in the past week, there are a lot of changes, even today. So some of it are stock trades. So like AMD, right? I closed AMD position. This was a speculative trade, right? Very aggressive, taking advantage of earnings. So probably one of the better trades this year, where I received the credit for the put spread and I used it to finance my debit call spread. So I spent 30 cents, right? I spent 30 cents and I made $2.30, right? So this is where you're looking for 5 times, 8 times return on your investment. It doesn't happen very often, but same trade was on Google, right? Very similar trade was Google in the past 30 days. Those are probably the best trades this year. Where same kind of idea. I sold the put spread. I received a credit of 41 cents. Pay the debit 60 cents. So I only spent 20 cents, but again, I closed it for $1.70. So I paid 20 cents, 10 times return on the investment. It requires earnings analysis or momentum analysis, and use that premium from the put spread to finance your calls, right? Doesn't always work. I did the same thing for Microsoft. Outside of the stock, I received the credit of 50 cents, 6 cents. I bought a call spread for 90 cents, but you can see my debit was only 34 cents, right? 34 cents. So I lost 34 cents on Microsoft. But on Google and AMD, I had these 5 times return on investments. So that's part of the earnings strategy. You can also see it in Elite Circle. What else we did? So these are highly aggressive trade where you have to be correct on direction and magnitude, right? Direction and magnitude. Today, I also trade stocks. A lot of people say, Vlad, I don't trade options. This is not what I'm comfortable. Great. We do have example of stocks. So today I added to my Halliburton position, energy. I trimmed emerging market position. I trimmed QQQ position. I trimmed Citigroup. I closed Cisco spread position. I closed Micron position. So very active day today, right? A lot of positions rebalancing. So it's a combination of stock and option trades. You can usually the holding time is anywhere from few days to few weeks. You can see all of my orders. You can see all my positions. You can type in your phone number or Discord ID, and you will get SMS message, right, or alerts every time I trade. And we do have morning bell and closing bell. So for Mother's Day, we do run specials. Try the Elite Circle. It's a 30-day money back guarantee. It's a great way to learn because we have Keith and I. Keith is expert in futures and options trading. He's been doing this for many years. He does coaching, he does trading. So you have a morning bell and a closing bell, which you can use. And you also have a trader log that you can see all of the trades. Any questions? All right, any questions? No questions. Okay, please type in questions. So that's Elite Circle, where you can participate in the morning bell, closing bell. You can watch the recordings, and you can see all of my trades. We also have a premium portfolio where I only trade spreads. So this week was Cisco, right? Cisco was a good trade. We're open position at 230, trying to close it today at 350 and market on close. So that's the premium where we only trade spreads and you get one signal a week. But you can buy option, right? If you have a bigger, larger portfolio, maybe it makes sense to buy an option. You just have to pay more, right? I paid $2.30 for spread. Option would be $4.25, but it's more aggressive and you don't cap your upside. And we actually had a webinar on, let's see, on Yellow Tunnel, sorry, on AGT, how to trade spreads, how to collect the premium using option put spread. So I'll drop it here. I encourage you to visit the link and watch the webinar, right? And talk about spreads. So this is a great way to to learn how to trade spreads as well. What else? So that's the premium portfolio, which you can sign up. We do have specials for Mother's Day, so please try it. 30 days money back. If you want to trade only stocks, we have Robo Investor where you can, same idea, only stocks. You can see orders, get SMS message. So that would be for the Robo Investor, stocks only. This is spreads only. This is everything, Elite Circle. We already talked about Stock Forecast Toolbox. Research, right, is where you can type in any signals and it will give you the seasonal chart, right? You can see from seasonality point of view, April, May, June, July are usually strong months. End of July, September, that's where you get consolidation and potential pullbacks. 52% correlation, obviously, it's a very strong move in the market. And, you can use probability calculator to look at the estimated range, right? 700, I would be a buyer. 760, I would consider trimming position. So in the next 50 days, right? The next 50 days, don't be surprised if we're at 700. Don't be surprised if we're at 760, right? 76% of the time, we're going to be trading in this range, right? Stock forecast toolbox shows that the path of least resistance is higher, right? The path of least resistance would be getting to the 760 level because upward momentum. So that's screeners research. You know, you have other ideas. If this is not enough, then you can look at the Tradespoon bulls, right? But signals for these is traditional scanners, but the signals are what I showed is active trader. If you active trader gets updated every day, weekly trader gets updated every week, right? So this it updates on Sunday. Similar AI models, it learns on the data, but here it analyzes bigger amount of data. It gives more weight to earnings, longer term momentum. So you have on May 4th, model ran this Monday and basically says buy Cisco. This is why I got into a Cisco trade. So that worked out well this week. Texas Instrument did well this week, and even Walmart, right, which is sideways. So different signals, some consumer staples, some retail, some technology, but gives you an idea of how to trade these stocks. Weekly power trader, longer term signal, it can hold for longer period of time, right? So we encourage you to have 4 positions and not to risk more than 2.5%. So that this was main for monthly dividends. Your comment earlier indicated that I understood your earlier strategy. Please clarify. So Bill, right. The JEPQ was predominantly for monthly dividend because I like monthly dividend, and I also get appreciation. But you can see JEPQ is only up 30 basis points, where QQQ is up 1.5%. So the correlation is breaking between JEPQ and QQQ. QQQ has been outperforming JEPQ. I don't know for how long this outperformance is going to last, but for now it's outperforming. So I'm inclined to rotate into QQQ because 1% is not enough, because in one day you can see the outperformance is more than 1%. So I'm a little bit more aggressive, still have 30% in cash, still only trying to risk 10% on those 4 positions at 2.5% loss, right? So I still suggest only having 4 positions at 2.5% loss. So here's, if you follow and you discipline, then your basically drawdown is 10%. What do you do with the 90%? What do you do with the rest of the 90%? I propose 30% you put in money market and get dividends. I mean, money market interest payments. That's another 30% for. But what do you do with the rest of the 60%? So the rest of the 60%. Not all 60, because QQQ and EM are aggressive, but maybe 30%, maybe 20% of your portfolio or 30% of your portfolio you put into QQQ EM. You can leave it in JEPQ. You can leave it in JEPQ because on the way down, I think JEPQ is also going to outperform QQQ. But for now, I'm going to follow seasonality, right? If you look at the seasonality, in the past few years, May has been a good month, June has been a good month, and even July. It peaks somewhere around the next earnings cycle. So for now, I want to hold QQQ and EM, and probably by middle of July, assuming we're going to follow the seasonality, then maybe trim QQQ and trim EM and rotate in JEPQ. And you've already seen today I trimmed, right? I'm going to trade around QQQ and EM position. Today I trimmed 30% of them, right? Because it's just a lot of the, very, very large appreciation after the unemployment data. Any questions? Any other questions? Don, Ed, James, Kevin, Bill. All right. So that's active trader. We talk about weekly trader. Here, again, on weekly trader, the difference is that, first of all, it's a different model, analyzes different period of time, but notice the stop loss is also wide. It looks for 2.5%, right? So in case of Cisco, it's suggested enter at 90.87. So if you enter at 90.87, then you would get out at 92.69, right? I mean, now it's 95.90. So that would be the approach for weekly trader. Monthly trader, 5%, because you're holding, ideas holding for a few months. So active trader, you're holding for a day, then you look for 1% price movement, right? So on CDS, you buy at 85.92, right? If you bought at 85.92, then you get out at 86.78, right? Today it gapped up, then you could buy at 87.36, right, at yesterday's close, and get out at 88.23. Today was the gap. If you missed it, right, then it's up to you to decide whether you want to chase the stock or wait for it to pull back to suggested entry prices. I think you want to be consistent or participate in live trading room, ask those questions, schedule a meeting with Keith. Keith can help you determine your risk tolerance level, how to keep a journal, how to keep a trading plan, to make sure that you have tools to help you navigate market volatility and deal with market exposure, right? So I encourage you to schedule a consultation with Keith. I'll drop this link and he can help you with that. All right, any other questions? All right, so we went through signals, active trader, weekly, monthly trader. I'm using these signals to manage my portfolio, stock portfolio, option portfolio, and Elite is everything together. So I encourage you to join. We have a lot of free content, newsletters. Every week there's a trade idea. We have recording of all of our events. We have YouTube channel, Learning Center. You can go and if you want to learn about options or stocks, technical analysis, advanced technical analysis. There's videos. We've been in business since 2012, so 14 years of webinars. This is something I encourage you to consider. Any questions so far? All right, if there are no questions, then that's all I have for today. Thank you very much. And next week, same time, or in the live trading room. I know some of you are in the live trading room. If you're not in live trading room, try it out. I think you will definitely get great signals that outperform the market and learn how to manage your portfolio and ask questions. So thank you very much. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you soon. Thank you guys for participating.